Have you ever felt that nagging chill in your own home, like invisible eyes are tracking your every step, your every whisper, without you ever signing up for it? As a senior, or someone who loves one, you deserve the peace of mind that comes with true independence. But right now, sneaky surveillance is turning your sanctuary into a stage, from the glow of your smart TV spilling your secrets to health trackers betraying your most private moments. In this eye-opening video, I'm exposing the top 5 hidden spots where your privacy is under siege, pulling back the curtain on threats you never saw coming. And stick around until the end, because I'll hand you a game-changing privacy shield checklist that could lock down your world forever, turning fear into unbreakable control. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Place 1. Your smart TV. Do you remember when televisions were simple boxes of entertainment, tucked away in the corner of the living room like a trusted old friend? Back in the 1950s and 60s, you'd twist a knob to flip through a handful of fuzzy channels, fiddle with rabbit ear antennas to chase better reception, and call it a day. There were no remotes cluttering the coffee table, no glowing screens demanding updates at midnight, and certainly no invisible threads connecting your TV to the vast digital world outside. It was straightforward, reliable, and, most importantly, private. The only spy in the room was maybe the family dog, eavesdropping for the sound of the treat jar opening. Fast forward to today, and oh, how the times have changed. Modern smart TVs aren't just sleek slabs of glass and metal. They're marvels of engineering disguised as entertainment hubs. Picture this, a 65-inch OLED screen that curves ever so slightly for that immersive cinematic feel, voice-activated remotes that respond to your whims, and built-in apps for streaming everything from classic reruns to live sports. They look innocent enough, perched on your entertainment center like a window to endless possibilities. But peel back that glossy facade, and you'll find something far more complex. A full-fledged computer, humming away with processors powerful enough to rival laptops from a decade ago. And the kicker? It's wired straight into the internet, pulling in high-definition streams with ease, but just as effortlessly pushing data right back out to the cloud. At first blush, this two-way street doesn't raise many eyebrows. Why worry if your TV remembers you binge-watched that cozy mystery series last weekend and suggests the next season? Personalization feels like a perk, not a peril. But dig a little deeper, and the picture gets murkier. These devices aren't content with passive observation. They're active sleuths, cataloging your every interaction with the precision of a digital diary. We're talking about automatic content recognition, ACR, technology, a sneaky feature embedded in most smart TVs from brands like Samsung, LG, and Vizio. ACR doesn't just detect what channel you're on. It fingerprints the audio and video signals in real time, matching them against massive databases to identify exact shows, commercials, even specific scenes. A 2024 study co-authored by researchers at University College London revealed how this tracking exposes users to significant privacy risks, often without clear consent. And it's not stopping there. Your TV logs how long you linger on a program. Did you make it through that entire documentary, or bail after 10 minutes? When you hit pause to grab a snack, whether you rewind that emotional climax, or if you zap through channels during ad breaks. It even notes the timestamps of your viewing sessions. Say, 7:15 p.m. on Tuesdays, right after dinner. This seemingly innocuous data doesn't evaporate into the ether. Instead, it coalesces into a vivid mosaic of your daily life. Your moods, thrillers on stormy nights. Your sleep schedule, late-night news binges. And even your household dynamics, solo viewings versus family movie nights. Advertisers lap it up, using it to tailor pitches that feel eerily prescient. But the real chill comes when you consider the broader implications. As a New York Times investigation in 2025 pointed out, smart TVs, and their connected cousins like fridges and speakers, are sharing this intel with third parties, from data brokers to marketing firms, often buried in fine print privacy policies that read like legal novels. Few of us have the time or inclination to parse those 50-page tomes, but ignorance isn't bliss here, it's a vulnerability. Let me paint a more personal picture with a story I can't shake. Meet Harold, a 68-year-old retired mechanic from a quiet suburb in Ohio. Harold's evenings were sacred rituals. Slipping into his worn recliner with a bowl of popcorn, tuning into grainy black and white westerns that reminded him of his boyhood heroes like John Wayne. His smart TV, a hand-me-down from his son, seemed like a generous upgrade. Bigger screen, clearer picture, no more antenna hassles. What Harold didn't clock was the always-on microphone tucked into the bezel, enabled by default for hands-free voice search. It was meant to make life easier, letting him say, "Play Gunsmoke," without lifting a finger. One crisp autumn evening, Harold fired up a video call with his daughter across the country. They chatted about grandkid soccer games, her latest recipe flop, and, offhandedly, his upcoming doctor's appointment for that nagging knee pain. Laughter echoed through the room, the kind that warms a lonely house. Weeks ticked by uneventfully until Harold's email inbox and TV sidebar started filling with ads. Orthopedic braces, arthritis creams, even ads for mobility scooters from brands he'd never heard of. At first, he chalked it up to a coincidence. After all, he had been limping a bit more lately. But then came the targeted mailers, flyers for local clinics specializing in joint issues, arriving the day after that call. Harold's stomach dropped. His home, his sanctuary, had betrayed him. That microphone hadn't just heard his commands. It had captured snippets of life, packaged them up, and shipped them off to the highest bidder. Harold's tale isn't fiction. It's a cautionary echo of countless others. Many smart TVs pack not just mics but front-facing cameras for Skype sessions or fitness apps, and they don't always power down when you think they do. A 2025 analysis highlighted how these features can inadvertently store audio clips or image frames, sometimes for quality improvement, but often funneled into opaque data ecosystems. Manufacturers swear it's all above board, a way to refine algorithms and enhance your user experience. But let's be real, that data goldmine gets monetized, sold to ad networks or bundled into profiles peddled to insurers, retailers, or worse, scammers sniffing for soft targets. For seniors like Harold, or you, dear reader, this hits harder than for the TikTok generation. Your living room isn't just a viewing spot. It's a confessional, a war room for life's unfiltered moments. Picture casual chats about cholesterol meds over coffee, heated phone arguments with utility companies about bills, or whispered worries about a spouse's fading memory, all unfolding mere feet from that glowing screen. If privacy toggles weren't flipped during setup, and who reads the manual? Those utterances could be harvested, analyzed by AI for sentiment, and weaponized. Health data alone is a scammer's dream. Knowing you're on blood thinners might inspire phishing emails hawking miracle cures. It's like installing a one-way mirror in your most intimate space. Outwardly, everything looks the same, but the eyes on the other side never blink. So, how do you reclaim your castle? Don't panic. Empowerment starts with simple steps. First, summon your inner tech detective. Dive into the settings menu, usually under Privacy, Voice, or Smart Features. Hunt down and deactivate the microphone, camera, and ACR options. On Samsung TVs, it's under Viewing Data Services. LG calls it ThinQ AI. Vizio hides it in SmartCast. It takes 5 minutes, tops, but it severs those data pipelines. Second, get hands-on with physical barriers. Slide a webcam cover, those cheap $5 ones from Amazon, over the lens, or MacGyver a solution with opaque tape or a post-it note. Third, cultivate new habits. Reserve deep conversations for the kitchen table or a walk in the park, far from any device's earshot. And fourth, consider a privacy-first alternative. External streaming devices like Roku or Fire TV sticks often let you bypass built-in tracking altogether. Your television was invented to bring the world to your doorstep, not to beam your doorstep back to the world. The living room, that hallowed ground where families sprawl on mismatched couches, swap stories over buttery popcorn, and let guards down, deserves to stay sacred. Don't surrender it to silicon overlords. Carve out 15 minutes this afternoon to tweak those settings. You might never spot the bullet you dodged, no dramatic alert saying, "Data leak averted." But the peace of mind, that's priceless. You'll sink into that recliner tonight with a lighter heart, knowing your secrets stay yours. And yet, as your TV retreats to its role as a humble storyteller, remember, surveillance doesn't clock out when the screen goes dark. There's another device in your orbit, one that's closer than your shadow, more indispensable than your morning coffee. It buzzes in your pocket, lights up your nightstand, and holds the keys to your entire digital kingdom. I'm talking about Place 2, your smartphone apps. Our smartphones have evolved from clunky novelties into indispensable extensions of ourselves, lifelines woven into the fabric of modern life. For seniors, they're nothing short of revolutionary. Imagine a sleek rectangle that bridges continents with a tap, summoning video calls where you can see your grandkids' gap-toothed grins in real time. It's your weather whisperer for planning that garden stroll, your puzzle partner for sharpening wits on rainy afternoons, your medication minder pinging reminders for that 2 p.m. pill. Apps like FaceTime or WhatsApp keep loneliness at bay. Duolingo sparks a late-blooming romance with Spanish. Even simple calorie trackers empower you to savor grandma's lasagna recipe guilt-free. In a world that can feel isolating, these pocket wonders grant a profound sense of connection and control, turning "what if" into "why not" with effortless grace. But here's the rub, the hidden asterisk in that freedom. Every swipe, every install, exacts a quiet toll on your privacy. It's a Faustian bargain most of us sign without a second thought, lured by the siren song of free tools that promise convenience but deliver something far costlier. Think about the apps that clutter your home screen. The free weather widget that paints sunny dispositions, the flashlight that banishes basement shadows, the solitaire game that fills idle moments. They arrive gift-wrapped in the App Store, no strings attached, right? Wrong. Those permissions pop-up screens? They're not polite requests. They're data heists in disguise. Why on earth does a flashlight app crave your microphone access, as if it's auditioning for a karaoke judge? Or why does that weather app demand your precise GPS coordinates 24/7, down to the meter, when a zip code would suffice? The cold truth: you're not the customer, you're the product. Developers offset free with your info, harvesting it to fuel ad empires that know you better than your own mirror. I met Carol at a community center workshop last spring. A spry 74-year-old with silver curls and a laugh like wind chimes. She'd embraced her iPhone a couple of years back, downloading a free puzzle app after her doctor suggested brain teasers to fend off forgetfulness. Keeps the old gears grinding, she'd say with a wink, matching colorful tiles for hours while sipping chamomile. Harmless fun, or so it seemed. Unbeknownst to her, the app was a voracious data vacuum, pinging her location every few minutes, eavesdropping via the mic for ambient audio analysis, and scanning her contacts for social graph enhancement. One balmy Saturday, Carol leaned over her garden fence to chat with neighbor Ed about her aching feet and a vague notion to splurge on comfy walking shoes for the fall farmer's market. Something with good arch support, maybe those orthopedic ones from the catalog, she mused aloud. By dinnertime, her phone was a billboard. Shoe ads from Zappos flooded her Facebook feed, email promotions for Dr. Scholl's inserts pinged in, and even her news app, unrelated as it was to footwear, slipped in a sponsored story about podiatrist-recommended kicks for seniors. Carol chuckled at the serendipity. Until the pieces clicked. That offhand chat, murmured in her backyard, had been scooped up, cross-referenced with her location data, and served back as precision-targeted bait. Her phone hadn't just heard, it had listened, feeding crumbs of her life into algorithmic maws that spat out mirrors of her unspoken desires. Carol's wake-up call underscores a sprawling epidemic. Thousands of apps, over 5 million in the Google Play Store alone as of 2025, employ sophisticated trackers like Google's Firebase or Facebook's SDKs to monitor not just what you do, but how you do it. They log keystrokes for predictive typing, hello, autocomplete that guesses your grocery list, track cursor hovers for engagement metrics, and geofence your movements to map routines, grocery run at 10 a.m. Wednesdays. This feeds into colossal ad networks, painting portraits of your health, frequent pharmacy stops, finances, bill-paying apps revealing debt patterns, and vulnerabilities, searches for widow support groups. A July 2025 report from Palo Alto Networks warned that such unchecked permissions expose users' lives without meaningful consent, turning devices into unwitting accomplices in identity erosion. For seniors, this isn't mere spam, it's a siren call to predators. Your data profile becomes a scammer's blueprint, age for elder-targeted fraud, habits for timing phishing texts, grandma, it's me, wire $500 for car trouble. Location for DoorstepCon's weak app security amplifies the peril. A 2025 digest from data protection experts noted that many apps flout consent rules, leaving backdoors ajar for malware that siphons contacts or credentials. Hackers don't need brute force when apps leak like sieves. Your routine doctor's appointment, gleaned from a calendar sync, could spawn fake IRS calls about unpaid Medicare fees. It's insidious. What starts as a fun game ends as a breadcrumb trail to exploitation. Reclaiming the reins? It's doable, and it starts today. Step 1. Audit your arsenal. On iOS, head to Settings, Privacy and Security. Android? Settings, Apps, Permissions. Scrutinize the suspects. Does that recipe app really need your camera for scanning ingredients? Sure, or your full address book, red flag. Revoke the excess location while using Mic Never for non-essentials. Step 2. Declutter ruthlessly. That flashlight from 2019? Bin it. Your phone's built-in one suffices. Unused apps are unsecured ports. Close them. Step 3. Adopt a pause and ponder protocol for newcomers. Before accept, scan permissions like a grocery label for allergens. If a meditation app begs for SMS access, swipe left. Plenty of alternatives exist. And bonus, enable auto-revoke features. Google rolled out malware scanners in early 2025 that nuke permissions from shady apps automatically. Your smartphone was meant to amplify your voice, not silence it under layers of surveillance. It's a bridge to the people and passions that light your days. Don't let it become a toll booth extracting your essence at every crossing. By curating your digital companions with care, you safeguard not just data, but dignity. Take charge now, before a misplaced permission unravels the threads of your independence. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Place 3 public security cameras. When you step outside your front door, you probably envision a breath of fresh air, the simple freedom of a neighborhood stroll, and the quiet independence that comes with being your own person. No schedules, no obligations, just you and the open world. It's a moment many seniors cherish, a small ritual that reaffirms your autonomy after years of raising families, building careers, and navigating life's demands. But what you may not fully grasp in that instant is how profoundly the landscape has shifted. The world beyond your threshold is now blanketed in an unprecedented web of surveillance, with cameras outnumbering people in some urban areas and capturing every angle of public life. Consider this. In the United States alone, over 85 million surveillance cameras were estimated to be operational as early as 2021, a figure that has only ballooned since, driven by a booming market projected to reach $9.19 billion by 2032. These aren't just abstract numbers. They're embedded in the everyday fabric of your routine. They're perched on traffic lights watching the flow of cars at rush hour, discreetly tucked inside grocery stores to monitor aisles stocked with your favorite cereals, positioned at the fortified entrances to banks where you deposit your retirement checks, and even bolted to streetlight poles that you pass without a second glance on your way to the park. In bustling cities like New York or Los Angeles, you might encounter dozens in a single outing. In quieter suburbs, they're still there, hidden in parking lots, on mailboxes, or along walking paths. And with advancements in wireless technology, they're increasingly wireless and solar-powered, popping up in public parks, transit stations, and even residential neighborhoods under the guise of community safety initiatives. Most seniors, myself included, in conversations with peers, assume these cameras are benevolent guardians. Silent sentinels erected to deter crime, catch vandals, or help recover lost items. And yes, that's partly true. Studies show that areas with CCTV coverage experience up to 33% fewer thefts, and a staggering 83% of burglars actively avoid homes or businesses equipped with visible cameras. But the story doesn't end with protection. It spirals into a more complex narrative of data collection, behavioral profiling, and unintended consequences that can erode the very independence these devices claim to safeguard. To understand why, let's rewind a bit. Cameras weren't always this omnipresent or omniscient. Back in the 1980s and 90s, surveillance meant bulky VHS tapes churning out grainy, black and white footage with muffled audio at best. Think fuzzy silhouettes barely discernible in low light, recordings that looped and overwrote themselves every few days or weeks due to limited storage. Operators had to manually review tapes, a tedious process that made widespread monitoring impractical. But today's landscape is a far cry from those analog relics. The global video surveillance market, valued at tens of billions, is exploding toward $89.7 billion by the end of this year alone, fueled by sleek, high-definition IP cameras that stream crystal-clear 4K video in real time. Over 50% of these now integrate artificial intelligence, enabling not just passive watching but active analysis. These modern systems don't merely record, they recognize, predict, and connect. Powered by machine learning algorithms, they employ facial recognition technology that scans your features, the unique contours of your eyes, nose, and jawline, against vast databases in milliseconds. A single glance at a camera can tag you with identifiers like age, gender, ethnicity, or even emotional state, then cross-reference that with public records, social media profiles, or commercial shopper histories. From there, the tracking begins. AI can follow your movements across multiple locations via networked cameras, stitching together a timeline of your day. Imagine this in action. You fill a prescription at the local pharmacy, where the camera logs your face and links it to your health insurance profile. Later, at the gas station, it notes your license plate and purchase of that familiar brand of coffee. And finally, as you step into your neighborhood church for Sunday service, another system flags your recurring presence, perhaps even inferring your religious affiliations for targeted outreach. All of this happens invisibly, without a beep, a notification, or your consent. It's not science fiction. It's the norm in an era where edge computing processes data right at the camera, sending alerts to security teams or marketers before you've even rounded the corner. Let me illustrate with a real-world inspired tale, one that echoes the experiences of countless older adults navigating this wired world. Meet George, a 76-year-old retiree from a sleepy suburb in Ohio, widowed and proud of his self-reliant routine. Weekly errands, volunteer shifts at the local library, and the occasional treat at his favorite corner cafe, a cozy spot with mismatched mugs and the aroma of fresh scones. One crisp autumn morning, George swung by for his usual black coffee and blueberry muffin, a rare indulgence after years of frugal living. He paid in cash, chatted briefly with the barista about the changing leaves, and left without fanfare. Weeks later, an envelope arrived in his mailbox, a stack of glossy coupons for loyalty rewards at the very same cafe, personalized with his name and touting discounts on muffins he'd never ordered more than once. Intrigued and a touch flattered, George returned and asked the manager, a friendly young woman named Lisa, how they'd pegged him as a regular. Her response was a polite but chilling revelation. The cafe, like thousands of small retailers nationwide, had quietly partnered with a facial recognition platform. Think systems like FaceFirst, widely used in retail for everything from theft prevention to customer personalization. As George entered that day, an overhead camera captured his image, ran it through AI software that estimated his demographics, senior male, likely local, and matched it against aggregated marketing databases sourced from credit card networks and public voter rolls. No loyalty card sign-up, no app download, just his face, anonymized in theory but potent enough to build a profile. Suddenly, George's one-off visit was transformed into a repeat customer data point, fueling targeted ads that arrived not just by mail but potentially via email or even his smart TV if he'd ever linked his devices. He hadn't broken any laws or sparked suspicion. He was simply existing in public. But in that moment, his autonomy felt chipped away. His private pleasure in a quiet coffee had been logged, analyzed, and commodified without a whisper of permission. George's story isn't an outlier. It's emblematic of the new reality seniors face in a surveillance-saturated society. Privacy advocates warn that these systems operate in a regulatory gray zone, where footage is often owned by private companies, retailers, tech firms, or government agencies, municipal police departments, with storage policies that vary wildly. Some retain clips for 30 days, others indefinitely in cloud archives, accessible via subpoenas, hacks, or lax vendor contracts. In the U.S., federal oversight is minimal. The Fourth Amendment protects against unreasonable searches, but public spaces are fair game, and state laws differ. Illinois bans private facial recognition without consent, while others like Texas emphasize business rights. This patchwork creates fertile ground for errors, false positives misidentifying innocent faces, disproportionately affecting people of color and older adults with age-related facial changes. Abuses, overreach by law enforcement, or breaches, think the 2023 hacks exposing millions of camera feeds. For seniors, who may already grapple with shrinking social circles, mobility challenges, or cognitive shifts, this invisible oversight amplifies vulnerabilities. A 2023 study highlighted how older adults weigh safety against privacy, with many citing fears of constant watching as a barrier to enjoying daily freedoms like unhurried walks or spontaneous visits. Picture it. You set out for a peaceful afternoon amble in the park, the sun warming your shoulders as birds chirp overhead, yet a pole-mounted camera silently catalogs your path, perhaps flagging it against neighborhood watch lists. Or you pop into the supermarket for a few staples, scanning shelves for that elusive low-sodium soup, unaware that overhead lenses are gauging your dwell time to optimize store layouts or profile your spending habits. Even a casual lunch with a friend at a diner could etch a digital breadcrumb. Time, location, companions, all pieced into a mosaic of your life. You don't see the cameras, they're camouflaged as smoke detectors or blended into architecture, but they see you, every step, every pause, every unguarded smile. The emotional toll is subtle but profound. For those of us in our golden years, independence isn't just about driving or cooking. It's the unmonitored joy of routine, the dignity of moving through the world on your terms. Constant surveillance, even benevolent, can breed a low hum of unease, a sense that your story is being scripted by algorithms rather than lived by you. It might deter a pickpocket, yes, but at what cost to your sense of agency? So, what can you, as a savvy senior, do to reclaim some control without retreating into isolation? Start with awareness, the cornerstone of empowerment. Familiarize yourself with common camera hotspots. Beyond the obvious, ATMs, storefronts, scout for them in elevators, restrooms, where legal, and even fitness centers. Apps like Camera Finder or simple Google Maps reviews can reveal user-reported spots in your area. Next, safeguard your data in plain sight. Avoid reading sensitive mail, like medical bills or bank statements, or verbalizing passwords aloud in potentially audio-equipped zones. Opt for encrypted apps on your phone instead. When shopping or dining, inquire up front. Do you use facial recognition, and what's your data policy? Some forward-thinking businesses, like certain Whole Foods locations or independent cafes, now post signage or privacy manifestos, building trust through transparency. Go further if you're tech-inclined. Wide-brimmed hats, sunglasses, or even anti-facial recognition scarves, patterned fabrics that confuse AI, can obscure features without drawing stares. Support advocacy groups like the Electronic Privacy Information Center, EPIC, which push for stronger laws, and your voice as a voter or petitioner matters. And remember, not all surveillance is equal. Community cameras for traffic safety differ from commercial profiling tools. Distinguishing them helps you navigate wisely. In the end, security cameras were forged in the fires of protection, a tool to shield society from its shadows. But like any double-edged blade, they can pry into the light, illuminating more than we bargained for. You don't need to cower from every lens or swear off the corner store. Instead, arm yourself with knowledge. Understand the ecosystem you're stepping into. Its watchers, its whispers, its weak spots, and you'll walk taller, freer. Awareness isn't paranoia. It's the first, sturdiest layer of your defense. And while cameras can track you from afar with cold precision, the next frontier of intrusion lurks much nearer to home. It hums softly in your kitchen on the counter, or perches innocently in your bedroom, masquerading as a cheerful assistant ready to play your favorite tunes or remind you of doctor's appointments. But beneath that helpful facade, it may be the chattiest spy in your midst, listening, learning, and leaking far more than you ever intended. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Place 4 home assistant devices. The hidden listeners. How smart home assistants are stealing your privacy, one whisper at a time. In the quiet corners of homes across the world, a revolution has quietly unfolded, one that promises companionship in an increasingly isolated age. For many seniors, smart home assistants like Amazon's Alexa, Google's Nest Hub, or Apple's HomePod have evolved from mere novelties into indispensable allies. Picture this: a 78-year-old retiree, perhaps living alone after decades of family-filled holidays, wakes to the soft chime of "Good morning" from a device perched on the kitchen counter. "What's the weather like today?" she asks, and in an instant, she's informed about the light rain outside, sparing her the hassle of fumbling with a smartphone or peering through fogged-up glasses at a wall calendar. These devices go far beyond weather updates. They become gentle reminders in the rhythm of daily life. Time to take your blood pressure medication, or don't forget your afternoon walk. It's a perfect 72 degrees out. With a simple voice command, they can queue up a playlist of golden oldies from the 1960s, the kind that evokes memories of first dances or long-gone road trips. For those with mobility challenges, they're a lifeline, dialing a family member's number with "Call my daughter," or even controlling the lights and thermostat to create a cozy environment without the strain of getting up. And let's not forget the joy of storytelling. Tell me a joke elicits a chuckle that breaks the solitude of an empty house. On the surface, it's pure magic, a seamless blend of technology and empathy that makes aging feel a little less daunting. Finally, gadgets that adapt to us, rather than forcing us to adapt to them. But beneath this enchanting facade lies an uncomfortable truth, one that transforms these companions into silent spies. These assistants aren't passive, they're perpetually vigilant, their microphones tuned to the ambient hum of your life like an ever-watchful sentinel. Companies like Amazon, Google, and Apple are quick to soothe our nerves with assurances. Your device only activates when you invoke its wake word, Alexa, Hey Google, or Hey Siri. They claim sophisticated algorithms filter out the noise, ensuring that random chatter or household sounds never cross the threshold into recorded territory. Yet, a growing body of evidence paints a far more intrusive picture, one where privacy erodes not with a bang, but with a whisper. Investigative reports from outlets like The Guardian and Wired have uncovered startling lapses. In 2019, a Bloomberg investigation revealed that Amazon workers in Romania and India routinely reviewed raw audio clips from Alexa devices, thousands per shift, to fine-tune the AI's voice recognition. These weren't just error logs, they included snippets of pillow talk, business negotiations, and even a child's cries during a medical emergency. Google faced similar backlash in 2019 when it admitted that contractors listened to home device recordings to improve accuracy, only halting the practice after public outcry. Apple, often hailed as the privacy champion, wasn't immune either. A 2022 Vice report exposed how Siri recordings captured unintended sensitive moments, like users discussing therapy sessions or financial woes. Studies from privacy watchdogs, such as the Electronic Frontier Foundation, EFF, estimate that false activations, triggered by innocuous sounds like a dog's bark, a microwave beep, or even the word election in a TV ad, occur in up to 19% of interactions. Each mishap generates a digital footprint. Audio files time-stamped, transcribed, and uploaded to the cloud, where they linger in vast, opaque databases accessible to engineers, advertisers, and potentially hackers. The human element adds a layer of betrayal that's hard to stomach. Those short clips, reviewed by employees, aren't anonymized fairy tales. They're fragments of real lives. A 2020 Reuters expose detailed how Amazon's quality assurance teams heard everything from domestic arguments to intimate confessions, with little oversight to prevent leaks or misuse. While companies insist this is essential for AI evolution, teaching the system to distinguish accents, dialects, or background noise, the reality is that your unguarded moments become fodder for corporate improvement. Strangers, bound only by non-disclosure agreements, gain fleeting access to the unfiltered you. And in an era of data breaches, recall the 2023 Amazon Ring camera hack that exposed 3,000 users' videos, those clips could one day spill into the wild. Consider the story of Evelyn, a 72-year-old widow from suburban Ohio whose tale, shared anonymously in a 2024 AARP privacy forum, serves as a chilling cautionary example. Evelyn had embraced her Echo 3 years prior, drawn in by its ability to simplify her post-retirement routine. Mornings began with a hymn, Play Amazing Grace, its melody filling the sunlit living room and easing the ache of solitude since her husband's passing. The device was her scheduler, her entertainer, her confidant. Remind me to call the grandkids at 4 p.m., or set the thermostat to 68 degrees, I'm feeling chilly today. It felt like having a piece of her old life back, a gentle nudge toward normalcy. One crisp autumn evening, Evelyn balanced her checkbook the old-fashioned way, over the phone with her bank, reciting account numbers and balances aloud while seated at her dining table, mere feet from the always-on Echo. Unbeknownst to her, the device had partially activated on the word balance, capturing the tail end of the conversation. Details about her modest savings, a recent withdrawal for medical bills, and even an offhand mention of her late husband's life insurance payout. She hung up, none the wiser, and went about her evening with a cup of chamomile tea. Weeks later, the calls started. Not the friendly check-ins from her son, but slick pitches from financial advisors hawking high-interest loans and investment schemes tailored eerily to her situation. We noticed you're managing a fixed income. Let us help maximize your retirement nest egg. Evelyn's sleep grew restless, haunted by the gnawing suspicion that her sanctuary had turned informant. She scoured her Amazon account, deleting what audio logs she could find, but the damage lingered. Was it a coincidence, a lucky guess from targeted ads? Or had her whispered numbers fueled an algorithm that painted her as vulnerable prey? Evelyn unplugged the device that night, but the trust was shattered. It was like inviting a guest into my home, she later reflected, only to realize they were taking notes on everything. Evelyn's ordeal isn't isolated. It's emblematic of a deeper, more insidious web. These assistants rarely operate in silos. They're the nerve center of a burgeoning, smart home ecosystem, intertwining with doorbells like Ring, now Amazon-owned, smart thermostats from Nest, Philips Hue lighting, and even fridge cams that reorder groceries. This connectivity births what cybersecurity experts term a data panopticon, a 360-degree surveillance of your habits. Wake at 6:45 a.m. Your lights flicker on via voice command, logging your circadian rhythm. Leave for bingo at 2 p.m. The door sensor notes your absence, cross-referenced with motion detectors to infer solitude. Crave a late-night snack? The assistant orders it through integrated services like Amazon Fresh, capturing not just the purchase, say, a family-sized ice cream tub, but the emotional context. I'm feeling blue tonight. Surprise me with something comforting. This mosaic of data doesn't stop at transactions. Voice inflections reveal stress levels during a doctor's appointment recap. Purchase patterns expose dietary shifts hinting at health declines. Companies like Amazon leverage this for predictive personalization, recommending products before you know you need them. But at what cost? A 2025 Consumer Reports analysis found that 68% of smart home users unwittingly share behavioral profiles with third-party advertisers, enabling micro-targeted campaigns that feel prescient, almost predatory. For seniors, who may already grapple with cognitive fog or isolation, this isn't mere inconvenience. It's existential erosion. Your home, the one irreplaceable haven of autonomy, where walls echo with decades of laughter, arguments, and secrets, becomes a commodified stage. Imagine confiding in your spouse about a dementia diagnosis over dinner, only for the thermostat to hear and log it. Or sharing heirloom stories with a visiting grandchild, fragments of which seed ad profiles for memory care services. The risk transcends misuse. It's the quiet theft of sovereignty. Your most tender, unscripted moments, those that define your humanity, no longer dissolve into the ether. They're etched in silicon, owned by entities whose loyalty lies with profit, not you. So, in the face of this digital eavesdropping, what recourse do we have? Empowerment begins with awareness and action, small steps that reclaim the narrative. First, dive into your device's settings. It's easier than you think. On Alexa, navigate to the app's Privacy tab and toggle off Voice Recordings to prevent cloud storage. Enable Do Not Send Voice Recordings for extra caution. Google Home users can mute history in the Activity Controls panel, while Siri devotees should review analytics and improvements in iOS settings to opt out of data sharing. Regularly audit and delete your audio history. Most platforms let you wipe months' worth with a few taps, though remember, once uploaded, echoes may persist in training models. Next, treat the microphone like a loaded gun. Disarm it when not in use. Nearly every device features a physical mute button, a satisfying click that severs the always-on feed. Make it a ritual. Mute before bed, unmute only for intentional queries. Placement is paramount. Relocate your assistant to less intimate zones. Tuck it in the living room for music requests, not the bedside table where midnight worries spill out. Avoid clustering near landlines, computers, or TVs. Echoes from calls or shows can trigger false wakes. And for the truly vigilant, consider dumb alternatives. A basic clock radio for tunes, a pill organizer with alarms, or a simplified phone with speed dials. Ultimately, pause and ponder. Do you need this convenience, or is it a siren song masking deeper vulnerabilities? For every seamless reminder, weigh the trade-off, a profile that's yours no more. Explore privacy-first options like Mycroft or Snips, open-source assistants that process locally without cloud phoning home. Or lean into analog joys, a wall-mounted medication chart, handwritten notes from loved ones. Convenience tempts, but privacy is the bedrock of dignity, especially in later years when autonomy feels most precious. And while these silicon sentinels lurk in your living spaces, eavesdropping on spoken secrets, the invasion delves even deeper into the shadows of solitude. It strikes when you're truly alone, curled in thought, fingers dancing across a keyboard in what you believe is utter seclusion. Every query you type, Every late-night Google on forgotten lyrics or whispered what-ifs into a chat box is etched eternally into the annals of the internet. No wake word required. Just the act of asking invites the archive. But that's a tale for another whisper. One we're all unwittingly scripting together. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 3 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Place 5. Your everyday online searches. If there is one place where most seniors feel completely safe and empowered, it is right there in front of a computer screen or tablet, fingers hovering over the keyboard as you type a simple question into the search bar. It's an intimate ritual, perhaps late at night when the house is quiet, or during a quiet afternoon break. You might be pondering best vitamins for seniors over 70, natural remedies for arthritis pain relief, affordable retirement communities in Arizona, or even how to set up a simple will online. It feels utterly private, almost like whispering a fleeting thought into the ether, with no one around to eavesdrop or judge. The glow of the screen becomes a confidant, offering instant answers without the vulnerability of voicing concerns aloud to a doctor, family member, or friend. But here's the unsettling truth that shatters this illusion. Your online searches are among the most heavily monitored and commodified actions you take every single day. Far from being a solitary exchange between you and the machine, each query is meticulously captured, time-stamped, and woven into a vast web of surveillance. Every keystroke isn't just a question, it's a breadcrumb leading straight back to you. Search engines and their corporate overlords link it to your unique IP address, that digital fingerprint identifying your internet connection, often tied to your home address. Your device's unique identifiers, like browser cookies or hardware signatures. And, through cross-referencing with other data sources, your personal identity. Your name, age, email, or even past purchase history. What starts as a harmless curiosity about symptoms of high blood pressure in elderly ends up as a permanent entry in a sprawling digital ledger, one that corporations, advertisers, and even bad actors can access, analyze, and exploit indefinitely. This isn't hyperbole. It's the reality of how modern search technology operates. Unlike the old days of library card catalogs or phone books, today's searches leave an indelible trail. That trail doesn't fade with time. It's archived in massive data centers, potentially forever, unless you take deliberate steps to erase it. And once it's there, it's not just sitting idle. It's actively traded on shadowy data marketplaces where your senior-specific queries make you a prime target. Why? Because at 65 and beyond, your searches often revolve around life's most pressing realities. Health maintenance, financial security in retirement, travel for grandchildren, or preparing for the inevitable. These aren't abstract interests. They're laced with emotion and urgency, making them goldmines for those looking to sell solutions, real or illusory. Let me paint a vivid picture with a real-world story to drive this home. Meet Richard, a spry 78-year-old retired schoolteacher from a quiet suburb in Ohio. Richard had always prided himself on staying sharp, crossword puzzles in the morning, a brisk walk around the block, and the occasional online trivia game to keep his mind agile. But lately, he'd noticed little cracks. Forgetting where he parked his car at the grocery store, or blanking on a neighbor's name mid-conversation. It gnawed at him, this quiet fear of slipping away. One sleepless night around 2 a.m., with the house silent except for the hum of his old desktop fan, Richard turned to his trusty search engine. He typed hesitantly, "Best supplements for memory loss in seniors." He lingered on the results, clicking through articles on omega-3s, ginkgo biloba, and B vitamins, bookmarking a few for later. It felt like a private therapy session, a way to arm himself with knowledge before mentioning it to his doctor at the next checkup. Within 48 hours, the digital floodgates opened. His once clean inbox overflowed with promotional emails from supplement brands he'd never heard of, hawking miracle memory boosters, at triple the price of what he'd seen in the search results. On his Facebook feed, where he mostly scrolled through family photos and local news, ads popped up for glossy videos promising reverse cognitive decline in weeks. His YouTube recommendations shifted overnight to testimonials from happy seniors touting dubious brain pills, interspersed with sponsored links to offshore clinics offering experimental treatments. Even his news sites, like the local paper he read daily, began inserting banners for free trial packs tailored to men over 75. None of this was coincidence or serendipity. Richard's innocent, vulnerable search had been scooped up by data brokers, packaged with his age demographics, inferred from his IP and browsing patterns, and auctioned off in real time to the highest bidder. He thought he was confiding in his computer, seeking solace in solitude. In truth, he was unwittingly broadcasting his deepest insecurity to a ruthless marketplace, where fear is currency and seniors are seen as easy marks. But the invasion goes far deeper than just the words you type. Search engines are master psychologists, dissecting not only your queries but the subtle symphony of behaviors that surround them. They track the exact phrasing. Did you spell memory as minery in a moment of fatigue, or refine it to cognitive decline supplements for elderly? They note the timing. A flurry of health searches at dawn might signal insomnia-fueled anxiety, while evening queries about cheap flights to Florida for winter could hint at seasonal affective concerns or family planning. They observe your interactions with laser precision. How long you pause with the cursor blinking before hitting enter, a telltale sign of hesitation or embarrassment. Which search result you hover over but ultimately skip, the depth of your scroll through a page on diabetes management for seniors before bouncing away, even the frequency of your returns. Did you come back the next day with a more desperate variant like urgent memory loss cures? These micro-actions, when aggregated across sessions, form an eerily accurate behavioral profile. Algorithms don't just see a search, they infer your emotional state. Are you anxious about aging, scrolling frantically through options? Worried about finances, comparing budget hearing aids versus premium ones? Debating end-of-life decisions, lingering on hospice care costs near me? The system knows, with a sophistication that rivals a mind reader, and it tailors its responses and its sales pitches accordingly, especially for seniors whose patterns often cluster around vulnerability. This level of insight cracks open a Pandora's box of risks, particularly for older adults who may not have grown up with the internet's underbelly. Sensitive searches, those raw, unfiltered probes into health scares, early signs of dementia, financial woes, Social Security increase 2025 for retirees, or even existential matters, planning a dignified end of life, don't stay confined to helpful advice. Instead, they become triggers for a barrage of aggressive, hyper-personalized marketing. Advertisers bid in milliseconds to place their content front and center, but it doesn't stop there. Your data gets funneled into lookalike audiences, where companies target not just you, but thousands of similar seniors nationwide. Worse, scam artists lurk in this ecosystem. Fraudulent operators buy anonymized, but easily re-identifiable datasets from brokers, then deploy phishing emails, fake websites, or robocalls disguised as personalized health consultations. Imagine searching for safe investments for retirement savings, only to receive a call from a boiler room scammer posing as a financial advisor, armed with details that make their pitch feel eerily legitimate. In essence, your most private questions, the ones you'd blush to share even with a spouse, morph into precision-guided bait, reeling in predators who prey on trust and isolation. For seniors, who already face higher rates of elder financial abuse, with losses exceeding $3 billion annually in the U.S. alone, this turns the search bar from a tool of empowerment into a subtle snare. So, in the face of this digital panopticon, what practical steps can you take to reclaim some semblance of control? The key is awareness first. Recognize that search bars are not sacred, private journals but bustling public squares teeming with unseen eyes. Shift to privacy-focused alternatives like DuckDuckGo or StartPage, which deliver results without logging your history or selling it for profit. They even block trackers by default. On mainstream engines like Google, dive into your account settings to enable incognito mode for sensitive queries, though remember, it only hides from your browser history, not the search provider itself. Make a habit of clearing your browsing history and cookies weekly. Most browsers have a one-click option under Privacy and Security, and install free extensions like uBlock Origin or Privacy Badger to neuter ad trackers in real time. For extra caution, use a VPN, virtual private network, service to mask your IP address, making it harder to tie searches to your location or identity. Reputable ones like ExpressVPN or ProtonVPN offer senior-friendly apps with simple interfaces. Beyond tech tweaks, adopt mindful habits. Avoid typing ultra-sensitive questions, my will and testament template, on shared family devices, where one person's history bleeds into another's. Steer clear of public Wi-Fi hotspots at cafes or libraries, where trackers run rampant and hackers could intercept unencrypted queries. And always pause when an ad eerily echoes your recent search. Treat it not as psychic magic, but as a red flag of surveillance. Hover over it, check the "Why this ad?" link, if available, and report suspicious ones to the FTC's complaint portal. If something feels off, verify independently. Call a trusted doctor instead of clicking a glowing testimonial, or consult a certified financial planner rather than a pop-up offer. Think about it this way: your online searches are like diary entries scrawled in a leather-bound journal, filled with the unvarnished truths of your inner world. Fears jotted in haste, hopes underlined twice, curiosities tucked between the lines. In an ideal life, they'd be locked away in a drawer, dusted off only by you on reflective evenings. But in our connected age, they're photocopied en masse, distributed to boardrooms and black market forums, and sold to strangers across the globe who never earned your trust. This isn't inevitable doom. It's a call to vigilance. Once you grasp this dynamic, you can fortify your digital diary with locks of your own, stronger passwords, savvy settings, and a healthy skepticism toward the screen's siren song. And as we draw this exploration to a close, we've journeyed through all 5 insidious frontiers where privacy slips away unnoticed. The glowing flicker of your television, feeding on your viewing habits. The addictive swipe of your apps, sipping data with every tap. The unblinking gaze of public cameras, mapping your every step. The ever-listening hum of your home assistant, echoing your spoken secrets. And now, the deceptive sanctuary of your online searches, archiving your whispered wonders. Each one underscores how fragile our personal boundaries have become in this hyper-connected era. Threads of data weaving a tapestry that's beautiful in promise but treacherous in practice. Yet, herein lies the spark of hope. Knowledge is the antidote to invisibility. Armed with these insights, you can audit your habits, layer on protections, and demand better from the tech giants shaping our world. Privacy isn't lost forever. It's waiting for you to seize it back, one informed choice at a time. Your story, your data, your dignity, deserves no less. As we wrap up this urgent dive into the hidden surveillance stealing your peace, remember, knowledge isn't just power, it's your shield against a world that forgets seniors deserve uncompromised privacy. You've uncovered the silent spies in your living room, the recorders in your pocket, the uninvited neighborhood eyes, rogue health gadgets, and that inescapable digital footprint trap, plus the forever-proof steps to lock them all down. So, tell me, what's the one eye-opening lesson that's sticking with you from this video?